In this lecture, we're going to start adding the same animations to the enemy. The process will be simpler than before. We've already laid the groundwork by animating the player. The first step is to add the model and animator controller to the enemy's prefab. Luckily, the enemy characters were developed by the same person who developed the model for the player. The animations are compatible with these models too. In Unity, open the enemy base prefab. Next, navigate to the Game Assets/Characters directory. Drag and drop the K-Kit model into the hierarchy. Animations will be applied to all enemies. Therefore, we're going to add the animation kit to the base prefab. In the hierarchy, we should unpack the K-Kit object. By unpacking the object, we can delete the prototype object from the hierarchy. Keep in mind, the model is larger than the map. We should select the K-Kit animated character object to rescale it. Otherwise, the animations may come out weirdly. In the Transform component, set the scale fields to 0.3. After rescaling the object, let's update the patrol and stationary guards by moving the body parts into the model. Let's start with the stationary enemy by opening the prefab. In the hierarchy, we have an object called Orc A. This object was created from the model. Before moving the body parts, we must unpack the prefab. Time to move the body parts. Move the character Orc A arm left object into the arm left object. Next, move the character Orc A arm right object into the arm right object. Afterward, move the character Orc A head object into the head object. Lastly, move the Orc A object into the body object. The last step is to apply the animator controller to the K-Kit animated character object. On this object, we have the animator component. Under this component, set the controller field to the character controller file. This controller should apply the idle, walk, and run animation clips. We're finished with the stationary guard. Let's move into prefab edit mode for the patrol guard. Once again, from the hierarchy, let's completely unpack the Orc B prefab. Next, move the character Orc B arm right object into the arm left object. Subsequently, move the character Orc B arm object into the arm object. This may seem strange. We're placing the arms in opposite animations. Unfortunately, this is an error with the models exported by the original creator. The arms got mixed up during the export process. This error only applies to the patrol guard, not the stationary guard. Up next, move the character Orc B head object into the head object. Lastly, move the Orc B object into the body object. We're finished moving the objects. The last step is to wire the controller with the animator component. You can find the component on the K-Kit animated character object. On this component, set the controller field to the character controller file. Time to test our game. Head back to the scene. Next, play the game. I'm going to move the scene's camera to the stationary guard. As you can see, the idle animation is playing. Next, I'll move my camera to a patrolling guard. Same as before, the guard has an idle animation. Great! In the next lecture, let's start updating the speed of the animation.